Hello guys and welcome to another boss guide. This time I will talk about Demi-Human Chief. This boss is not required if you want to progress with the game, but it is very important part of the mage class because at the end of the cave there is one small island where you can buy certain spells which will be discussed later in this guide. Demi-Human Chief is located in the coastal cave of Limgrave, southwest from the church of Elden. As you walk along the shore, you will notice small mobs in different places, some on a rock, others on a fallen tree branches, and shortly after them it's the cave. It is recommended to use a flaming torch because it's very dark. As you go in and after a slight left turn you will find the nearest site of grace for the cave and the boss. Once you take the grace, your way is only forward. Of course, there is a turn off to the right, which is not a wrong turn, but will still take you to the same place and you will pull a lot of mobs that you don't have to worry about because they need some time to adapt that someone actually passed by them. Once you enter and start the battle, the first thing that you will see, and I guess that you will worry, is that there will be two health bars. And it will be true, there are two bosses, absolutely the same, and the idea is to kill them separately. Here comes the other problem. Beside the two bosses there will be three mobs that you must kill immediately, because they play a role of squeakers, and will call the other mobs from the cave, including the other boss who is still asleep. So let's summarize. Your first job when you enter a battle is to be in stealth mode and kill the three mobs as quickly as possible and then stay alone with the boss. As for the boss, he is something like Beastman of Farm Azula. His attacks are not very fast and they are few. The first thing is spin attack. When you see him tilt his arm to the right side, then it turns counterclockwise twice approaching you. This is something that is easily protected by bouncing back or just standing away from it. The next attack is very unpredictable because he does it in different ways. Sometimes he makes two attacks, but sometimes it is a combination of three. The boss bounces towards you while swinging his right hand and then makes a slow motion which then turns into one quick attack, like a dash to you with his left hand. And here you can see the same combination, however with three attacks. Almost the same, but this time he adds another attack with his right hand before bouncing with a dash to you. This is probably the hardest part of the battle against this boss. The rest is not so scary. There is a leap attack where he jumps in the air and he makes some fun hands movements. Sometimes he stands on two legs and stays for a short time, walking toward you and stab the knives on the ground, and also makes a terrifying cry that you should not worry about because it will not call the others sleeping beauties. But it's very important to add that every time he does that differently. Sometimes he makes combination of attacks and sometimes just a terrifying shot. It is even more important to add that sometimes he makes combination of the attacks I have listed. You will often notice him doing the double rotation and then the two-legged attack. After you kill him, the same fate befalls his twin brother, though I still hope he did not wake up. He is at the other end of the cave and there will be 3 or 4 mobs around him again. There is no point in going into more details because the battle is exactly the same with the same movements. After killing the boss, do not rush to teleport outside because this is not the end. Just behind the second boss that you just killed, the cave continues. The road is again one way and it requires a little climbing. I repeat, it is important to use the torch. It is very dark and on the way you will meet again mobs that will react slowly as you pass them, but I guarantee that if you are in the dark you will probably get stuck and die on them. Shortly after the mobs is the exit from the cave, and the first thing that you will notice is that this is not the beach and you're from the other end of the small peninsula that I mentioned shortly at the beginning of this guide. As you explore, you will notice a crumbling church and side of grace in front of it. Inside the church is laying a dragon, who I still don't know his story, but I guess he was wounded and he fell on this island and shortly after that he died, that's my guess. But he left us some of his magic. It is very important to mention that if you're a caster and you love fire magic, then this is the place for you. I doubt that you will get any of these since it's too early in the game, but you can always teleport back here later in the game. And this is all about Demi-Human Chief, who guarded the Church of Dragon Communion. I'll play the whole battle again so you can see how it looks like as a caster, and I'll see you on the next boss.